Bibi draws a red line as Trump appears ready to back a deal Israel fiercely opposes. Netanyahu refuses to play along as fears grow that Israel could undermine the emerging U.S. Iran agreement. As Bibi tests Trump's limits, growing White House frustration spills into the open over Iran and Lebanon. Trump loses patience with Bibi, calling Netanyahu a very difficult guy amid tensions over the Iran deal. As the Iran war backfires, Netanyahu and Trump appear to be drifting further apart over the region's future. Israel told Trump it does not consider itself bound by the Lebanon-related clause included in the agreement, yet reported. Israeli officials said the Prime Minister made clear that Tel Aviv would not back down in its campaign against Hezbollah. Netanyahu also told Trump that Israel would not withdraw from its current military positions inside Lebanon. Israel said the IDF would continue striking Hezbollah targets and destroying infrastructure it considers threatening. Officials said Netanyahu received the full backing of Israel's Security Cabinet regarding the Lebanon issue. Senior Israeli officials said they expect possible pressure from Washington following the U.S. Iran agreement. Officials warned the U.S. could seek Israeli withdrawals or push for limits on future military operations in Lebanon. Trump told the New York Times that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is a very difficult guy to deal with. The U.S. president also suggested Netanyahu should show greater appreciation for long-standing American support, according to the NYT. The remarks came as Israeli officials voiced deep concerns about the contents and implications of the agreement. Israeli officials noted that Israel was not directly involved in the negotiations that ultimately produced the latest deal. Amid the growing rift, Iran's foreign ministry condemned an Israeli strike on Beirut's southern suburbs. Tehran said the attack violated Lebanon's sovereignty and breached the ceasefire understanding reached in April. Iran also accused the United States of bearing responsibility for Israel's actions and continued military operations. The foreign ministry said Tehran retains the right to take all necessary self-defense measures under international law. Donald Trump has floated a new ultimatum to Iran, even as negotiations appear to have reached a critical breakthrough. The U.S. president said military strikes against Iran could resume if the current nuclear talks ultimately collapse. Trump also suggested the United States could become what he described as the guardian of the Middle East. According to Trump, such an arrangement could potentially be tied to a share of the region's revenues. The remarks suggest the White House is continuing to keep both military and political options on the table. According to the New York Times, Trump's advisors expect a fresh round of negotiations to begin on June 19th. Switzerland is expected to host the next phase of U.S.-Iran talks focused on Tehran's nuclear program. Despite recent progress, significant disagreements reportedly remain over Iran's nuclear activities and future commitments. Trump has repeatedly insisted that any final agreement must permanently prevent Iran from obtaining nuclear weapons. The New York Times report suggests Washington is actively preparing for either diplomatic breakthrough or renewed confrontation. On television, an aide to Arachi declared that Iran had won the war after the peace deal. Iran is now looking toward implementation of the deal after more than 3 months of regional fire. Mujtaba appears set to test U.S. commitments as Tehran unveils what it calls an extremely important next step.
These very lengthy talks lasted perhaps more than 14 or 15 hours. During them, we presented the Islamic Republic of Iran's final amendments to the text, and naturally those amendments were reviewed, and the Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding was finalized. That is the first point regarding this process. For now, only the text of the Memorandum of Understanding has been finalized. The formal signing of the Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding will take place on Friday between the principal parties to the memorandum, with Switzerland being discussed as a venue. 2 immediate developments either have already occurred since last night, or must occur starting this morning and will occur. The first is the immediate and permanent end of the war and military operations on various fronts, including Lebanon. As you saw in the statement announced by the Prime Minister of Pakistan, it was explicitly stated that a permanent and immediate end to the war has been declared on all fronts, including Lebanon. The second development is that the President of the United States has announced his position regarding the lifting and termination of the naval blockade that the United States had imposed against the Islamic Republic of Iran. However, after the commitments of the Islamic Republic of Iran and the implementation of the other provisions of the Memorandum of Understanding, these will naturally take effect from Friday following the formal signing of the memorandum. This Memorandum of Understanding was not merely the result of a diplomatic initiative that produced this diplomatic achievement for the Islamic Republic of Iran. It was not solely the product of diplomatic efforts. Rather, it is indebted to our military achievements. It is indebted to the pure blood of the martyrs whom we lost in confronting the enemies of the system. The enemy that attacked the Islamic Republic of Iran in order to implement its malicious objectives suffered heavy defeats in all of its goals and strategies, while the Islamic Republic of Iran achieved remarkable victories in this war. The enemy itself was forced to request a ceasefire and negotiations, and now we are witnessing this draft understanding in which all of our positions, as well as the important issues we considered necessary, have been incorporated. We have no trust whatsoever in the enemy. Our trust is in our military power, our diplomatic strength, and the support and unity of our own people. For that reason, implementation of this memorandum is extremely important. We have specific plans to monitor the implementation of America's commitments under this Memorandum of Understanding, as well as in the second phase, when negotiations will be necessary in order to reach a final agreement. If such a final agreement is reached, naturally the important issue for us will be the implementation of its provisions. Any measures taken by the Islamic Republic of Iran regarding the commitment it accepts in the one or two areas that pertain to Iran will be aligned with, proportional to, and contingent upon the implementation of the other side's commitments. Wherever we observe shortcomings in the implementation of the other side's obligations, we will naturally take our own corresponding measures in response.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.